Da 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 da. Do we have crazy echo? Do we? What's going on now? Booming, maximum booming. Alright, we got some sort of visual. Maybe that's enough. I don't really care. No, I didn't get a new monitor and change nothing. So we added this now. I added the display capture. Window, no. Transform, edit transform. Fit to screen maybe? Is that better? Stretch to screen? Try that. That's better, right? Did we do it? Did we do it, chat? Is it perfect now? Okay, and I'm also gonna have the microphone really, we can see the taskbar though. That's fine. I think all the nasty tabs are hidden, so there's no worries. I think you can see that. Alright. Okay, I'll have to look at that for next time. I have no idea what happened. Literally changed nothing, as usual. Zented69 asks, did you really go to Greece? Or where did you get that summer glow? And, okay, if I'm going to have to lean in, we're going to get some books, boys. We're going to get some really thick old books. Stack them real high. And build a little tower to place the microphone on. I failed to see what could possibly go wrong with this setup. Down. Some high-tech tower building going on with some books here. There we go. Maybe that's better. So there we go. Game capture doesn't usually work. Window capture does. Well, usually I just run a screen capture, so I have no idea why it messed with me this time. Oh well. Hi chat. Hi everyone. I think we're kind of online right now, at least. So I'm going to try to show you a little bit more of my face rather than my manly chest. Hi Daffels94. Very welcome to the July stream of Haven and Hearth, the free-to-play MMORPG with crafting, permanent death, persistent world, all that good stuff. I'm currently playing a character. I'm one half of the dynamic developer duo behind this game, and my name is Björn. I go by Jorb as my nom de guerre, and we're gonna play some Haven and shoot the breeze and all that good stuff. And we've had some technical issues, but I think even my booming tech skills, my boomer tier tech skills, I think have managed to kind of solve them, sort of ish, for the time being. So let me know if the sound is good, chat. I really did try to make some improvements to it. I flipped a couple of settings, so maybe that was maybe I did literally change a couple of things, and maybe that's why we were having problems. But I only changed sound settings. So I'm not really sure why I should be having problems. I kind of find it unfair. But do let me know if the sound is satisfactory to your satisfaction, or if you can't get no satisfaction. But if you can, if you are getting your satisfaction, if you are getting your Haven and Hearth, your H&H fix right now, then please let me know that as well. Boomgland TV says, I made volume on 100. Sound is fine. Sound is fine. That is a better grade than sound has gotten in the past couple of streams. And the last stream, that was the June stream that we did about pretty much exactly 1 month ago, the sound was atrocious. So that's good that we've seen some improvement in that. I think what we're going to try to do today is we're going to start doing some really heavy lifting work on trying to get a palisade going. We need a palisade to protect ourselves from all the nasty meanies that prowl the confines of this game. And it's funny because we've achieved this goal once before, but some retard decided to push the server reset button, so all our progress was for naught. We have seen sea beams firing off the Tannhäuser gate, blah blah blah, and all those moments were most certainly lost forever like tears in rain. But here we are. Here we are again, brave, back at it, not in the least bit put off by... we're not going to let ourselves be defeated by the schemes and machinations of fickle gods, but instead we're gonna keep rolling, brolin as we call it. We're gonna keep brolin. Zented69 says, I put my volume on 200 so Yob's voice echoes through my house like a god. That's exactly the way we want it. That's exactly how I envision myself. So the question was earlier how I got this beautiful summer glow that I am currently sporting. And this healthy tan, which only hurts a little bit, was achieved through being outside in the sun in sunny Sweden, of all places. So I've gone exactly nowhere. I've simply gone except outside. So yeah, I've been outside, and it's been one of the hottest days of the entire year today. So it's been really pretty hot. It's been around 30 degrees Celsius. I have no idea what that is in retard degrees, but you can look that up yourselves. I'm sure Google will help you. And Boomgland TV says, can someone kill him before you build Palisade and we talk about balance? You can try. You can try, Bubba. You can come try me. Come try, Rev. Come try me, boy. I wish I knew where you were so I could kill you, says Terry. Well, yeah, there we go. Dakan says 30C is 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So there you go, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. But also extremely sunny. So, and I've been out all day pretty much lying down by the seaside. We live fairly close to the sea here. That would be Lake Mala, to you guys, which is a small kind of halfway inland sea, halfway actual ocean, halfway there's really brackish water. But yeah. Either way, it's the ocean. So we live close by it, and I have been out going for swims all day, and it's been nice. What am I even doing here? We're looking for palisades. We can't even build. We don't even know palisades. So what do we need? We need yeomanry. Do we know yeomanry? We should probably get a claim going. We're going to get a claim going. Chat, we're going to get a stream, a claim going. Holy Cow asks, what are you working on right now? Season soon. Season's definitely soon. I'd hope to bring it to you guys sooner, but it's taken longer than I was expecting, as things are prone to do. But on the upside, I can at least inform you that we're making steady progress, and it's just a matter of me drawing, new leaf layers for all the darn. Let's hope you can see this. If the window capture nonsense is working properly, then I got to work through all these darn tree skooskies, tree rooskies, tree badoobadoos, tree diddly-doos. So right now I'm working on this quince tree, and we're going to give it a new leaf plane, or rather we're going to give it 3 new leaf planes. Zunzon asks, will you need World 12 for Seasons implementation, or will you merge it to current world? We will be merging it to the current world. It will not require a world reset. So, how's the client rewrite? Is it coming to an end? Asks Daffles94. The most embarrassing code project in the history of recorded history, or in the history of man, is indeed drawing too close. Loftar is making progress, and the way he tells it to me, maybe lies, of course. Never trust a gnome. But what else do we need? What is it that we don't know? Is it we know bone? We don't know dreams. Chat. We don't have any dreams. We are devoid of dreams. We gotta get some dreams. We gotta get some string. We gotta get our foraging up. So many projects to do here. Our exploration rather. Gotta get that up. Boom, boom, boom. Yorb R.R. Martin. It's coming. The client rewrite is definitely coming. Much like winter, it is indeed coming. No, the way the gnome tells it to me, we have 2 projects left, and one of them I hope he's going to have finished this week. Can't promise that, and that would be instanced rendering and shadows. But apart from those 2 items, he tells me that everything else is working. So hoping, with a generous definition of summer, I'm hoping that this could be done before fall. And were it to be thusly, I would fall on my knees and praise the Lord. Praise the Lord Jesus, for he is risen. Hallelujah is what I would say. So we're getting there. We're definitely getting there in any event. And once we're done with that, we're going to take some time to collect ourselves. And we have 2 things that we want to do. We want to do a combat rewrite. Again, got to go up and at 'em. Up and at 'em, Atomic Man, or whatever the Simpsons joke is. So we want to do the combat rewrite, and we also want to get crack-a-lackin' on object-controlled objects. That is to say, the magical technology improvement that we hope will bring you amazing things such as bridges that can actually be walked upon, a sizable inroad into the pressing question of more free-form building system, and rafts that you can walk on, presumably walls that you can walk on, all kinds of nice stuff could come our way. Ardance TV says, can't wait for 5 more for 5 more FPS. Well, you can certainly be cynical about it, and at this point I wouldn't blame you. It's not going to be a good ratio of FPS per month worked on the project any way you cut or slice it. But I do believe that Loftar has I think it's a sizable project. Among other things, the project is the new client rendering code will be able to support both OpenGL and Vulkan. So it has abstraction layers to kind of lie on top of either of those. So, which is a big deal. So, and most people wouldn't bother with that. So it's, it is technology. The technology that he's developed at least has some fairly impressive features and whatnot, and they also open up the floor to presumably more improvements on performance down the road. So I don't know if time will tell if this was ever the right project for us to be working on, or to sink Loftar's time into. But hindsight is 20/20, I guess. One of the problems I've perceived over the past couple of worlds is that the PvP, the serious PvP, my perception has been that it has been kind of sidetracked or ran off its tracks rather by the performance question, because large scale battles can't really be fought due to poor performance, especially in massive scenes with many players on screen at the same time. Those can't be rendered properly, quote unquote. The game slows down to like a slideshow, and it's not fun for anyone, and that kind of hampers the more significant PvP. At least that has been our analysis, and if that is the case, then no amount of working on PvP is going to make it feasible, because it will always be unfeasible due to performance restrictions. So if we can solve that, or at least ease it by this update, then I'm not sure we had options. So again, time will tell. Perhaps our time could have been better spent elsewhere. Perhaps we should have aborted the project, but I don't know. It's the time estimate has never been that it should take 2.5 years. It's always been, and not Loftar is notoriously bad at giving time estimates, and I'm notoriously bad at reading him when he does give them. So maybe some failures on all our parts there, but it is what it is. So Princess Mandy says, nice new mustache. Thank you, Princess Mandy. I'm glad you like it. The beard is kind of coming back now, full on in. But yeah, it's getting back there. We're getting back up to speed. So what did we see here? Can you let us Hearth out of dungeons when KO? Dungeons are a cool thing to grind out, but I feel like most people avoid them completely because being surrounded and KO'd over and over again is really common. That's a good and valid complaint. I've brought this up with Loftar, and it's a part of an ongoing discussion that we're having presently about all kinds of things. Really, we're talking about the dynamism of the game and things that we've been less happy about with how this world is developed. Primarily the player count, obviously, which has dropped far more than we would have hoped for. So that's definitely something that we're gonna, we're definitely trying to analyze that and ask ourselves why that is. And I think a couple of the reasons that we see are a lack of dynamism. People kind of settle into a comfortable autarky behind their walls, and and then there's relatively little need for interaction, which I think is one of the things that are problematic. Zunzon says, "Don't you think you made the game too hard since World 11?" I don't know that we upped the hard difficulty level much. Maybe by making food more difficult. Food rebalance is also something that we're currently looking at. We're not happy with how satiations work. So that's definitely something that we're talking a lot about and considering. And I can't really say that we have a patent solution to what it should be, but we're at least the kind of categorization of food into broader, satiation categories, awful, creepy and crawlies, etc., is really beginning to look lackluster to us. I'll put it that way, and because grouping the food items into those categories makes it so that it is always you will always have one optimal food type for each category, and that is really not, I think, conducive to good gameplay. On the other end of that, we see a lot of we're asking ourselves, would the game be more fun if you could just eat an arbitrary amount of food? Arguably, this was the case in World 10, and I'm not convinced of that. It has some appealing aspects, such as it makes it so that all food is always useful to all people, which I suppose is nice. It also provides, basically an endless sink for food, which could be considered a positive thing. But there's also the aspect that it also makes it so hermits can compete if they have the autism to choose to compete. Guff One Love asks, Bruderbone, are you smoking weed? If you're offering, I might take you up on it, but generally no. But where was I going? Yeah, exactly. With the question of food rebalancing and blah blah blah. So should we make it so that you can eat arbitrary amounts of food? And it's a tough question. Can see some strong arguments in favor of it, but I can also see the argument that it produces the situation we have in Salem potentially, where basically time not spent grinding is potentially time lost. Your hearthing is insatiable, so there's no real downtime where you can actually relax and just play the game. Boomgland TV says, most types of meat useless because have low total FEP. I have 600 variations of autumn steak at the moment, and most of them is garbage. Even troll meat and mammoth meat has lower FEP than pork. What do you think about that? That's a good one as well. I mean, we buffed pork significantly because we felt that pork needed to be good for there to be any good incentive to be raising pigs, and so that's the reason why we've continuously been buffing pork. At the same time, I could definitely see an argument that pork being as good as it is leads to a lot of the things that we've been talking about earlier today, like the autarky that people settle into, that you never need to leave your base, you never need to go outside, blah 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 blah. So all that stuff. Holy Cow says, don't you fucking think about nerfing pork. I don't know if that's what I said. I know you're all very sensitive to nerfing. I'll back off if if it's a sensitive subject. It's not important to me that we nerf pork. That's not really how I approach the question. I'm more like asking myself, like, where should we go with it? Like, because again, I think most people would agree that again the comfortable autarky that we've been talking about is not a positive and good thing. It's beneficial to the long term health of the game. I think we need to set up a situation where Adder 1342 says ideally each meat would have some use. That could definitely be argued, but that's not a non-trivial thing to accomplish. All meat types having unique and good and dedicated uses. I mean, I agree that ideally that should be the case, but it's also, I think, it's hard for us, at least it's hard for me to envision a situation where we don't have, at least while there are only like so many stats that you can gain, I don't really see a situation where you will not find some optimum of effort to FEPS to blah blah blah, where you can kind of decide to ease of mass production, etc. So it's hard to envision a situation where all food truly has, at least to the autarkic player, the autarkic player who has the player whose cup runneth over. If you don't have to be picky, or rather, if you're not limited by natural factors to in what you can consume and eat, if you can eat or mass produce whatever you want to whatever capacity you want, then there's always, to my immediate mind at least, going to be some optimal food, and there won't be much reason not to eat that. Pretty much. And so that's some of the Ardens TV says just remove food and make the only stat gain sacrificing tokens on a Dolan. That's not a bad idea. Can just make it so that you simply pay to level up. But yeah, no, jokes aside, yeah, I think that's kind of a hard question. But again, as regards pork, I'd like to see players get out and about more. And in order for them to do that, there needs to be incentives for them to do that. So, that would, imply mammoth, etc. One food or another. Even like more regular game foods, honestly, should have like some legitimate use even to established factions, and that's not where we at right now. That's not what we at, boys. That is not what we at right now. That's not my feeling, at least. So yeah, I should probably not hearth home at this point because I don't think I have a hearth at my actual little base there. PvE servers when? I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced that PvE servers are a good idea because I kind of think that the PvP is an integral part of my vision for the game. So I'd rather kind of bash my head bloody trying to make that work, and that seems to me a more glorious path forward. But yeah. So Plenty Loss says, what do you think about separation of claims to A, high upkeep, high safety for village, and B, low upkeep, low security for natural villages? I definitely think that there's some argument that claims need to be differentiated, because I perceive it to be a problem that any low effort throwaway palisade is worth as much in terms of security as a well-established, well-fortified, well-built-up village, and I think that's kind of ass backwards. So I'd like to change that if at all possible. Colsey says current world is basically a PvE server. You're not very likely to run into PvP-oriented people at the moment, and I can only agree with that. Yeah, straight up, that's truth, Coles. Kiabermek asks, "Hi Yorb, finally caught the stream online. Glad you did, Kiabermek. Welcome to it. Do you plan to add any new higher tier credos in the near future that would require 7 to 8 prerequisites and be on average more useful due to their difficulty? And when do you plan to add wolf taming? Last time I asked, the only response I got was about a wall in Mexico. That's funny. We're talking about the wall in Mexico. Talking about the wall, how Mexico is going to pay for it, etc., etc. And we all know, of course, that the truth is that Mexico should have built a wall to keep the darn Yankees out in 48. And by that I mean 1848. Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, never forget, never forget. But yeah, more credos. Going back and forth on credos, we're having a lot of discussions about those internally as well. Me and Loftar, the L dog, we talking a lot about them credos, bro. And not sure where to go with them. Loftar's key recurring point is that if we set up a situation where all players always have all credos, he would rather remove them. He sees them, the intrinsic function of them, as being something that you can always work on. He sees that as the kind of central defining aspect of them. So that almost by definition, all players should not have all credos due to that being too much effort. With that being said, I think he's at least open, and I'm certainly advancing the argument that it certainly added to my feeling of burnout from the game that I lost all my credos with the world reset. I found that to be pretty harsh, and I don't think credos, as they're presently formulated, mesh particularly well with recurring world resets. So those are my concerns, and I think they could be made to mesh better by reducing the effort required to get them. Also, I'm kind of somewhat dubious about the general runaway qualities, and there's been discussion about this on the forums as well. So I'm certainly, it's not like my idea or anything, but I feel that we have the runaway qualities in the game. Like someone pointed out that, I'm not sure if this is true, to what extent it's true, but it rang a bell with me, and someone said that, okay, in Legacy, for like 2 years of a world, you could have qualities in the 200s, and now in Modern Haven, qualities hit 400 plus in like 6 months, and there's at least a big part of me that agrees or feels that is kind of unsound. So what do we need now? We need like leather and crap for palisades, right? We need to build leather, tanning tubs. We need to get more hides and build tanning tubs, basically. So we're gonna do that. Jordan Cozy says, Credos would be much more bearable even in their current state if you were given 3 options each task, like how Newman always worked. That could be an idea. I could also see like a general case for just trying to improve the quality of the quests, try to make them more meaningful, although like random generated content can only ever be so meaningful, I think because true meaning, I believe, requires storytelling. I talked about it last time, I think. I saw a game that I believe was more or less completely random procedurally generated. All the content of it more or less was like all the quests were generated and everything. And it struck me that seemed a lot like Progress Quest, like just playing the game Progress Quest. It's a joke game that plays itself basically. But it struck me as having about the same amount of meaning, in that basically just running around doing random FedEx quests for AI that will always be ready and willing to send you on your next FedEx quest. I don't know. I'm not sure that's going to be fun in the long term. So it's not blah blah blah. But also, I think, doesn't your argument there, Coles, just boil down to make them easier to complete? Isn't that the essence of what you're suggesting? Because that's kind of the essence of what I'm suggesting as well. So, Zented69 says, if Lofter wants them to be an ongoing thing to work on, then making them easier isn't the answer. There should be more branching and a number of A or B type credos to differentiate players more. Yeah, I suppose you could argue. How do you feel that meshes with ongoing world resets? Do you think that's a problem? Do you feel that my experience, for example, was legitimate? Because I felt I'd worked a reasonable amount on credos in World 10, and I felt pretty burnt out by that when we did the world reset. Like, I didn't feel like jumping back into the credo game immediately. I'm not saying I'd never do it again, but because I would, but I don't know. Robertson says, "Nice tan, thank you." It's more of an actual burn than a tan, I think, but maybe it will develop into a tan at some point. Got it today, so it's brand new. As I said earlier, alluded to earlier, I've been out by the beach all day, so I haven't been playing any computer games. But now it's finally starting to cool down, so it seems like an appropriate moment, an opportune moment to say the least, to take some glorious time off, chat with my best buds, the Haven community, and play some Haven. I'm kind of happy about this tile set, by the way. I found that it was pretty good. Maybe a bit too intense in the reds here, but I liked it nevertheless. Zentit says, autists gonna autism, man. If there was a much bigger pool of quests and more choices to make, it would make them more fun. Say you get to level 10 Credo this world, maybe next world you will see quests you've never seen before, be able to choose a new path and get new bonuses. That I agree with. Like, if there were legitimate more branching, as you said, that would make it more fun. Like, if I could pick a new path this time around, then that would definitely make it more fun. So that's certainly something to think about. More branching Credos. And also, like, again, with the runaway qualities, I've been considering just trying to make credos more low key, make them less necessary to play the game. Maybe less than their bonuses. Make the more bonuses significantly more convenience oriented than just giving blatant quality bonuses. Because I think credos being so necessary is also a part of what makes them kind of less good than they could be. Asterisk Risk says, in regards to Credo's last world, it was actually much easier than they are now. We abused the hell out of contemplation and meditation in order to speed the Credos up dramatically. Also, can't forget the Credo sighting to reset the quest. Those are fair points, all of those. Fair points all. Hey, look, we found a base. Let's make it our own. We shall claim this. This is now our base. Take possession. I found a study bench. Score! Score, bros! Found this. If someone claims this, I'm going to delete their claim. So please don't. It's now mine. Hey, this is awesome. Hey, whoa, look at that. Damn, son. Damn, son. We scored big time. This is one of the things I love about an older and more established world is that you can just find little gems like this piece of property right here. We even have a little cave going. How awesome is this, guys? How awesome is this, chat? Freya Mistwalker says, it would be harder on you, however, having different branches for the credos as a whole. Example, farmer, you get to a point and you have to pick a direction you want to go. Tree farmer, crops, etc. Maybe, but like if we made the credos smaller, more specialized, more refined, more differentiated, then maybe it could work out. Like maybe you could actually, we're gonna put a flower on this grave here. Press F for respect, but we're not going to place our yarrow there, obviously. Go with the chamomile. Here lies Cairo. Cairo. Rest in peace, Cairo. You were a good boy. You were a good boy, son. Yep. Press F for respect, chat. Let's see. What do we need? We need it all, chat. We just needed F and all. I don't need that. No, we don't need that. We have farming already, right? Yeah, we do. So we're good with that. Yeah, again, definitely ruin exploring can be tons of fun. One of my favorite things to do in an established world, definitely. So, if actual questing Princess Manny asks, it's warm weather in Sweden because you seem to have sunburns. I have pretty bad sunburns, yeah. You should see my back. But it's been out in the sun all day, out swimming all day. But it's been a lot of fun, so definitely worth it. Zentit says, if actual questing was nerfed to fuck, damn, nasty words, son. And Credos were also nerfed to F, but had way more layers and lots of branching and choices. I think it would be more balanced. I agree with that. That's actually a good point. Maybe one little bonus per Credo, definitely. Maybe taking the farmer path and getting 4 to 5 farmer Credos would path you away from being able to get minor Credos. Yep, I like that too. I think that's a very reasonable analysis, and I think that would make it more bearable in the event of a world reset. Just spam Credos, add a ton of them to the point where you literally just can't have all of them, and make them branch more, be more specialized, be significantly less necessary in terms of and actually try to give them more unique gameplay experiences as well, perhaps. Maybe those are contrary design goals. Who knows? So, okay, well, this is awesome. We found this. So we need to set up our hearth fire. We can probably get dreams from this one, right? This bad boy here, he's been loading up all several months. Damn it! We can get all the little dreams. We have dreams, people. Chat. We found our dream. I have a dream that one day man shall be judged not by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character. Boomgland TV says you make most foods very variable. For example, food have 100 perk, 50 cost, 2 will, 0.5 augie. Don't you think this low number useless could be removed and food can be simplified? Or if not, for what that variation needed? I think what we've tried to do is create a tech tree of sorts from less good to more higher tier foods, and I think that's reasonable. I don't think all credos should be or all foods should be high tier or whatever. I think there's certainly some room for noob tier type foods. I'd have to feel. No. Did we do it, chat? Yes, chat. How damn, chat. We found the key. We found the key, boys. We found the key. We finally found it. We did it. Just gotta get steel going and you can quit. Why? Why do I have to quit? I don't want to quit. Zented69 says, back in real Legacy, you could just make buckets to get Yeomanry. That's actually true. Was that when Haven was good? When bucket grinding was still a thing? We've already seen carrots. I'm gonna eat a carrot. So how good is the variance bonus, chat? Do you like it? Does it do anything good for us? Do you use it much? Does it matter? Wouldn't know, only eat midnight blue cheese. Fair enough. Aren't the satiations murdering you? Or similar to real life? the Chad Gorger. The Virgin Nibbler versus the Chad Gorger. The NBC Gorger. The BBC Gorger. No. Okay, so we replant those. Gonna replant those as well. But yeah, more branching credos would be fun. Some food rebalancing would be fun, or necessary at least. Because I don't agree with how satiations have been playing out. I think I agree with what I presume is chat's opinion that we set them to be too harsh. They're just too much. So, and I also don't like what I talked about earlier with each category basically having an optimal food. I don't like that. Holy Cow asks, could you explain how seasons would work? Okay, so there's this thing called time, and it advances in the direction of increasing entropy. And every once in a while, due to, circumstances, astronomy and shit, bro. Real ass astronomy and shit. Due to the circumstances of planetary cosmological facts and factors such as the Earth's rotation around the sun and around its own axis, we will have certain time-based effects such as night and day and something called seasonality. And so basically every X amount of time, we're going to have a new season roll around. Holy cow says, I meant mechanic-wise, you D-face. No, you didn't. Did you really? Darn, I misunderstood you. No, mechanic-wise, primarily I think the big differences that we're looking at is seasonality of herbs and animal spawns. That would be the obvious. And also mechanics-wise, we're going to have changes such as water freezing to ice, so you'd be able to cross rivers but not use boats. That kind of stuff. And also seasonality to again, herbs and animal spawns. I think that's the most important thing, and I think that's actually a very good thing. I think seasonality, because one of the problems with like herb foraging right now is that I don't like, the whole botting aspect of it. Not sure how big of a problem it actually is, but it feels kind of somewhat unaesthetic. So I think some more dynamism to how and where herbs and animals spawn would be a positive thing, because I think that would make it more quote-unquote realistic and more, somewhat more unpredictable, somewhat more differentiated, somewhat more. There would be more scales to it, and I think that would be a big positive for it. More of a rhythm, Kirsha T asks, stamina costs for boats when? That's a good question. I don't think we've actually dared to do that. I don't think we've dared dabble in the magical mystery tour of actually charging a stamina cost for using boats. Obviously, we should have, but it's a long-established precedent now that boats do not require stamina to row. So, I don't know. How would you feel about that, chat? Would you be fine with us, finally biting the bullet and implementing stamina drain for boats? Or would that be one of those unacceptable nerfs that cause massive amounts of forum rage? You tell me. Whoa, full stop right now. Do it. No. Chat is of a divided mind on this one. Just make one patch per month a nerf patch. Serious suggestion? Alright. Maybe that's a fun idea. The nerf patch. So that everyone can do it. Your update when you nerfed pots was so hilarious. Probably my most enjoyed Haven update in a while from the crying on the forums one. I can get behind that. So maybe we went a little bit roughshod, ran a little bit roughshod over the forums that night. Maybe we went a little overboard with the nerfing. But at least we admitted our mistakes, kind of. Or at least we retracted the changes. So that's what matters, right? We're all friends. We're all good friends now, right? Am I right, boys and girls? Am I right? Dakan says, I should play some Sims 3. Been a while. Do it, man. Report back. Tell me if it was fun. This is Sims 3 the latest installation? No, Sims 4. There's a Sims 4. Is there a Sims 4? Sims 4 is. Is it good? Is Sims 4 good? Should I play Sims 4? I don't think I should be playing Sims 4. I think Barbie Dollhouse. I think. To be fair, Haven is a lot of Barbie Dollhouse. But to be really fair, Sims 4 or Sims genre in general has some appealing RPG elements that I've alluded to previously. I've actually been playing a lot of Soul Blazer recently, which is a really cool. See if I can fire that bad boy up. Can I? Can we do it, chat? Ooh, maybe that was a bad idea. Is this full screen for you guys? Oh, it works. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let me know if the sound is horrible or Yankee or... Ooh, damn, son. No, we're not going to do that. Config, can we turn it down massively? Volume level. Maybe like 10%. It's still too much. Ooh, Seth, this might be a no-no on Twitch. Okay, let's not do it then. Fuck it. Damn, I just wanted to show the game. Why is that Selflessness a no-no on Switch? I own the game. I effing own the game. This is my own backup. I own the game. I have a physical cartridge of this game. Does that mean I can play it? I literally own a physical cartridge of this game. Does that mean I can play it? I'm not even joking. I own a physical cartridge of this game. I can go dig it up if someone needs the proof of that. So, does that mean I can play it? I doubt anyone cares on Twitch, by the way. Okay, let's do it. We'll take the risk. Nobody gives a shit, dude. Good. Glad to hear it. That's what I thought. I don't know. I just go from damn rumors. I just buy them. Someone tells me something scary, and I just go for it. So, is the sound too much here, boys? Yeah, I think the sound is way too much. Yeah, turn it down further. 5% maybe. And now there's no sound. Alright. So basically, the pitch of this game is that... Am I going to get killed in Haven now? No, log out. Do a quick log out here. You can't kill me, you bastards. I knew you were planning to. We're just going to play this for a short while, and then we're going to get back to him. The room on the second floor is Dr. Leo's. There were 2 models of town in his room. Many creatures were swallowed into the models. So basically, the idea here is that I can go into... My body is locked. Know that feeling. That's literally me. There should be a key somewhere in the laboratory. Know that feeling. My body is locked. We don't really like to chase rats. Cats just have to eat in order to live. You were all peaceful, peace-loving animals. Basically, we can go down into the cellar here. And here we can fight, and we have... Why are we wearing the bubble armor? We should be wearing the magic armor. And... see where the F is the... Ah! I'm trying to activate the darn magic. Oh, I don't have any gems, so I can keep pushing those buttons all day long if I want to. Maybe I actually cleared this. But anyway, the point is that we clear out these dungeons. And when we do... Embrace the pixels. Yeah, I kind of like the smoothing effect, bro. I've already cleared this dungeon out. I want to show some combat. I want to show some darn combat, dog. Surely I didn't clear this entirely. Surely. Maybe I did. Here we go. Next level. Next level, boys and girls. Here we go. So basically, the point is that we have to clear these little monster lairs that you saw over there. Those things there are... Oof, damn. You got us, boys. You got us. Oh, man. S-U-C-K at this. We're just going to play until we free someone. And when we free someone, we're going to call it. Get these bastards. Boom. We get gems. We can use gems to activate our magic. Boom. I just died recently, so that's the reason why I don't have any gems. And we can take some damage. Damage. We take some damage. And now we free a soul here. Being released a cat. Boom. The cat is sleeping. He looks as though he is suffering. Dr. Leo? Dr. Leo? So now we can go back up to the overworld where we started and basically interact with that cat and talk to him and all that jazz. This is a really fun game. Or a really pretty good game in terms of like story and shit. Oops. Save the state. Boom, let's get back to business. But it's a fun game. Your body is not ready. What games do you have in computer? I don't know, a bunch. Can we have dungeons like that in H&H? Yeah, why not? Maybe we should have. But the point of the game is that it's a really good RPG, actually. I really enjoyed it. Classic SNES game, in my opinion. It's part of like a trilogy, but it's the only, or like an informal trilogy at least. It's the only part of the series that I've actually played. No, I never played Terra Enigma, which I think is another game in the same series, right? So I never played that. I only played the Soul Blazer. It's actually really good. It's like a classic, again, SNES game. Can definitely recommend it. So of course no one cares whether I play SNES on Twitch. Of course I can do that naturally. How else should it work? So, did you ever try Mario RPG? No, I never got around to that. Sorry, someone recommended that on a stream a couple of streams back. I have still not played it. But thank you for reminding me. I may still. At least now I have an emulator installed. Though I would obviously never download a game that I've not owned. Am I right? A must play for everyone, says Ardennes TV. Well, if Ardennes insists that it is so, then it must be so. If we were to go full directional combat, would unarmed combat / melee combat be obsolete? Not by any necessity. Not by any necessity at all. I don't see why that should have to be the case. Like, you can still, determine how well the hit took or whatever. Like, you could use it if you wanted to, in one capacity or another. Not really 100% sold on directional combat. Boom. I don't even care for that style of game, but it's excellent. All right, awesome. Top three, really? Wow. Super Mario RPG, Earthbound, Final Fantasy V. That's a radical list of suggestions there. I'm gonna try to turn the fan on because it's effing hot in here, boys and girls. Please let me know if this sound is just too much. Is the sound just too much? If my mic captures absolutely nothing else when it's a couple of centimeters apart, then by God, I should be able to run my fan. Because it's pretty hot, boys and girls. This is not a prelude to me stripping, by the way. Merely presenting casual information. Kybermech asks, wouldn't it be cool to have a separate combat move system for melee combat, mountain combat, archery, and naval? I definitely agree that naval combat in particular sticks out like a sore thumb right now, because on account of how the Knars work and shit, it's really just terrible. But that's we have high hopes for object control objects there. If you could actually walk on the actual floor of the boats, then that would be. Can't hear it, to be honest. Okay, so it's too bad. It's fine. Okay. I'll let it run for a while, and you can let me know if it's just too much. It's too much. If you can't handle it, then I'm gonna turn it off. It's fine. Okay, good. We'll keep it on for a while. So a separate combat move system. We tried with the first implementation of archery. We did try to have a separate move system for it, but we felt that it meshed really poorly with the fighting system in general, or rather, with, the character interaction in general. In defense of directional combat in general, I really like that you can just shoot an arrow, and without necessarily having a target. I like that, and arguably, I think it could be fun if you could throw punches without having a target as well. So that's certainly an argument I have in favor of directional combat. But Cooking and combat should both be part of the Credo system and have a variety of choice paths that separate your move list and craftables. Could certainly be argued. Isn't that making it too necessary? Isn't that making the Credo system too important? What are your thoughts on that? But yeah, so we tried that for archery, and I really did not. I'm not entirely sure what the reasons were. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure I can present a concise case for why we felt it wasn't good. But I very strongly recall us both feeling that it just was a very, very subpar. And I don't think it was just merely a question of a poor implementation or whatever. It was just that it felt really off. It didn't feel like it meshed particularly well with melee combat. Bugna for getting rid of Midges when? Why would you want to get rid of the eighth wonder of the natural world, a blessing to all of Hearthlingdom? Why would you... Are midges honestly that bothersome to you, or do they really matter? Like, I mean, they do like a couple of points of damage. Or catching them as an ingredient. That I like more. I was actually up some ways further north in Sweden a couple of weeks back, and there were definitely midges out in force. And I was not too bothered by them, so, which would be consistent. The sound they make is awful. Is that your complaint? That the sound is awful? Claim the whole island. I think that's going to be asking a bit much there, sir. Oh, but that is in response to Colsey, who says, "I live on an island, and those bastards still cross oceans to get me." To suckle the sweet honeydew of Colsey blood, I can only imagine that they cross oceans. Who wouldn't cross vast oceans for the privilege? For he on honeydew hath fed. Let's see if we can Google that. For he on honeydew hath fed. Kublai Khan by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. At the Poetry Foundation. In Xanadu did Kublai Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf the sacred river ran through caverns measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. So twice 5 miles of fertile ground, with walls and towers, were girdled around. And there were gardens bright with sinuous rills, where blossomed many an incense-bearing tree, and here were forests ancient as the hills, enfolding sunny spots of greenery. Honey. For he on... Weave a circle round him thrice, and close your eyes with holy dread, for he on honeydew hath fed and drunk the milk of paradise. That is literally the midges. Weave a circle round him thrice. Coincidence, chat? I think not. That is literally the midges in regards to Jordan Cozy. I hope did we get the double audio sound now that we switched back and forth between my two Haven clients that I have running? Or did we dodge the bullet on that one? For combat then, yeah, maybe it would make it too necessary, but maybe combat credo should be totally separate. Like maybe you should almost level up combat totally separately from anything else and be able to make choices to build your move lists as you kill more junk. Dakan says, basically the audio of the stream is the best audio ever. I'm glad to hear it. Maybe it's because I'm literally sitting with the microphone very, very close to my face. So that's probably a contributing factor. Though I can't say that is super comfortable. I would rather put some distance between me and the midges. Oh, or rather me and the microphone. Midges, microphone, same thing to me. I can't differentiate. How can you expect me to? Hey, we found some mushrooms. We found a mushroom patch, and we even found some mushrooms growing in the mushroom patch. Are mushrooms worth... Oh, darn it. That's just not fun. That's just not fun. We gotta get rid of that. That is retarded. That is retarded. Oh, we're gonna get rid of that. We're getting rid of that, boys. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. It's just not fun. It's not fun and engaging gameplay. Ooh, look, pixel art. Dakin says, no, you go back there and harvest them. Oh, I don't want to. I don't feel like it. You harvest that shit right now. This is fun. Ooh, what I am gonna do though is I'm gonna steal that banner. That is for sure. That banner is coming home with Papa. Or maybe because this is not claimed right now. Damn, son. Damn, son. This is cool. Is decay too harsh? Like it's this place is really messed up, and I'm not sure it's been decaying for how long it's been decaying. Someone's still semi-active here in a reduced capacity. So someone is definitely an anvil. What is the quality? 25. I'm gonna take that one. Coming home with me. Oh, this shit. Move this crap out of the way. So this is awesome. This is one of the things that. Yeah, I love ruins. I think they're just awesome. I think it's one of the things that I've been talking about with Frederick is my feeling that I think one of the things that I feel is kind of broken about the game is that the world grows more boring the older it gets. Apparently, I think it should be the other way around. Ideally, I think players should add content to the game as they kind of play it. And if I could dream without being forced to actually concretize that into any sort of mechanic, it would be more fun if players actually added new content to the game as they played it, so that the world was more fun the older it got, rather than the other way around. And I think ruins are an example of that. Ruins are an example of something that players add to the game that is actually fun and kind of engaging, at least to me. So I think ruins are fun. Boom. We got a raggedy old flag. Because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag. Like Johnny Cash sang it. Hey, you steal my old anvil, put it back. No, never. Never! My flag. Never! Your flag. It's my flag now. Whoop whoop. There's literally not a single thing in the game worth fighting over except villages. Okay, but why is that? Is that because the stakes in combat are too high? Because one of the things that was mentioned on the forums as a good idea, and which sounded like a good idea to me, was the idea that someone had to just bring back the tradition change sliders and make it so that you had the option of basically going full tradition, because that people claimed that was a positive thing in Legacy, that you could use that to kind of buffer yourself so as to lose less when you inevitably died in combat. Because I don't know, permanent death is I don't know how to put it in a nice way, but it's not a holy grail to me. Because what we have now is arguably kind of not permanent death. You do get a refund on your character when it dies. And one of the things that I kind of feel off-putting about PvP right now is how high the stakes are in terms of just the learning curve is so steep. Like if you try to get into PvP as a noob and make one mistake, you lose your character, and then you're out of commission for forever, essentially, for that world. Basically, you can never get back. And that kind of feels just like not fun. Um, I don't know. How do you feel about that? I think it could be more fun if you die. Catching up is pretty much impossible. Yeah. The high stakes are a unique selling point of this game. I agree with that too. Isn't there something more of a compromise to be struck? I mean, right now the stakes are arguably autistically high because again, the barrier of entry is just so high, and I think that it's kind of off-putting. I mean, in Legacy, there was one cave level and like 10 cooking ingredients. Once your ore ran out, you needed to cook shit you have to get out or fight for more materials. Now we have no reason to fight for anything because we have everything. Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. I think there's a romantic glimmer of nostalgia for Legacy in that statement as well, because even in Legacy, farms were still autarkic and autistic, but also autarkic. Like farms were still kind of self-contained, somewhat self-supporting. I mean, arguably they are more so now with every conceivable mechanic that we've added. But Asterix says it's hard to keep encouraging a new fighter to stay active after they die. The game punishes you harshly for the mistakes instead of helping you learn from them. Is how I view it. Yeah. We use Valhalla a lot to train, but those are less than optimal conditions compared to the live server. Spend 3 months raising fighter, get caught off Hearth and die, quit. Yeah, I see that cycle as well, and I mean that's not how it should be, right? I mean that's just too much, right? Cole says you can't even spar your friends because once one surpasses you in stats, it's decided before you begin, and that's definitely also not a fun thing. So, which is one of the reasons that. But what prevented that from being the case in Legacy is something that I've pondered a bit. I mean, movement combat was one thing, but was the fighting system just more skill based? No, it was just movement combat quite simply. So let's imagine Legacy combat without movement combat. Would you have the same problems in Legacy combat? I miss movement combat because movement combat is one of the things that we've been talking about. Fallout F. Goran says, shouldn't lower levels have a higher base stone quality? They do. Not a guaranteed higher quality, as in it can certainly be lower locally, but generally it's higher. The ability to reset defense bar and attack bar without losing HP every time you go in for combos. You could peel off the other person by clipping them off of things or sprinting. Yeah, I mean, we have push out now, but you are speed reduced when you are pushed out, so we've at least kind of tried to emulate that. So not sure how that actually plays out. Also, another thing, this was another argument made with runaway qualities that um, that in Legacy it would be far more relevant with a noobish kind of sword than you are presently, because the quality distance between a new player and an established player is arguably so high. So please correct me if that analysis is wrong, but it spoke to me when I read it. Meteorite combat is also a joke. Okay, tell me why. I mean, meteorite combat was one of the kind of combats that seemed to actually be happening in this world. So. It's also hard to play as a team in the current combat system, when maneuvers like combat meditation discourages you from trying to peel off someone, as it just makes the attackers stronger. Meteors mattered until everyone realized they didn't. Alright. They were necessary to get down to the lowest cave level, though. So maybe they mattered a little bit. But it's also kind of the case of like if we make I don't know what space localized resources, for example, could occupy that would actually be good for the game, or because okay, so you're telling me now that there's nothing important worth fighting over. So let's say I add something powerful or otherwise significant that you could fight over that would be like worth fighting over. Wouldn't you then just simply have a snowballing problem where only the big factions get it and no one else can get it and wow, locked out of much content. Only the most of the autistic factions ever get anything. Devs suck. Blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't we have that whole problem scheme instead? By the way, how come lower levels locked behind meteorite? As a hermit, how would I ever get there? I'm not convinced that you, as a hermit, should be able to get everywhere. Quite simply, like you as a hermit, if meteors are LARP material. Nobody mines on level 9 on purpose because mining is cancer. Okay, mining is cancer. Everything is cancer. All my everythings are cancer. How can mining be better, Ardens? Should we just remove all the monsters from it and let the bots have the field day of their life? Maybe they are having the field day of their life, regardless of what I do. Maybe we are doomed to lose the war against the machines. Should there be no events? Mining is fucking fine and the best part of the game. Implying mobs stop bot. No, I'm not implying that. I realized that was a dumb implication. I'm sure they do. I mean, you're not wrong. AD has a mining bot already that does combat. Okay, that's fine. But at least, that's a challenge to the bot as much as it is to a player. Then. So, I enjoy mining. The big turnoff is having to swap weapons and whatnot. Okay, that's fine. But okay, so you enjoy cancer? Was it? Didn't you not say that mining was cancer? No, Ardennes said that mining was cancer. So, how would you like it to work, Ardennes? What is the cancerous part? But as regards swapping weapons and whatnot, I think the pickaxe should arguably be a powerful weapon, at least for fighting cave critters. Arguably with a specific bonus against cave critters. Maybe we could also add the War Pickaxe, which has even more special bonuses when fighting cave critters. And maybe Credos that give you specific bonuses against specific cave-related critter types. Would that be fun? Can I hear an ah? Yes, please. I wanted Pickaxe to be able to use this weapon for so long. I shall make a note of it. Pickaxe as cable. If I can write around this damn stack of books. Pickaxe as cave. Boom. Wow! Oh, I have a cave over my own base. I'm gonna make a run for it, boys. I'm gonna get thrown off the horse and knocked out. We gotta watch the pony power meter intently. Don't you F me yet. We're not. Ooh, we gotta get off soon, boys. Making a daft escape. Robin Hood and Little John running through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other has to say. Thinking, hoodlotty, jolly, golly, what a day. Ah, we made it. We made it, chat. We made it, chat. Whew. Whew. Damn. Close call. Close freaking call. Dang, good job. Thank you, boys. Very close. Too close. Too close for comfort. We gotta cook up some food to start healing. We get back in the game. Now go hug a bat. I'm not gonna go hug no bat, Coles. You trolling, bro. You trolling. We're just gonna build a regular old fire. Mm-hmm. Anyone else you could wish you could eat dandelions? There was a story about the most ucked man in the history of the planet in one of my local newspapers. It was a story basically about his wife and how she was all into the whole climate change. We're so progressive. We fight climate change through our lifestyle, man. Like we're gonna save the planet, man. Literally boomer tier stuff, and she was like, "We eat vegan, man. It's like we want to be, good to the animals, and so we eat vegan food." And once I served my husband, she had served him dandelion buds that she had fried, and I'm like, man. And then she was also telling him like we turned the thermostat down in our house to save the whales or the planet or whatever. And I was like imagining her poor husband, walking around in their home, a shell of his former self, all fucking freezing and being served nothing but fried up dandelion buds, and that's what he gets for dinner that night. And their poor children were emaciated from too much poisonous vegetables and much too little nourishing, shivering and starving, literally, and no nourishing meat for weeks, months. I was just dreaming wet dreams of hamburgers and basically just being fed on a starvation diet of all plants. And yeah, it was, so yeah, make dandelions edible. I think we gotta save the planet. Haven and Hearth helping out to pretty much. We don't have sex because it isn't fair to people in the world who can't afford birth control. Literally a thing she could say. And it was also funny because her vision of sustainability was basically everyone living in the city. Because she said like I'd like to move out somewhere where I could do more small holding, but I also can imagine living with a car. So she was like a city dwelling shell of a human being. All pale, I imagine her. Taking great pride in her commute from the slave box to the other slave box, working for the corporate system and all that. And that was her vision of sustainability. Laughable, I say. Boomer tier stuff. He gets down and starts mocking us ghouls. You know it. Get out. Get some sun, Dakin. God damn it. You look like a ghost. And I look like a tomato. Sun is cancer. Yeah, you gotta get your vitamin D, bro. You gotta get your vitamin D. Corporations pollute the environment, but her eating dandelions would surely make everything better. I can only imagine. That seemed to be her legit reasoning. And it was all kinds of like, just dumb virtue signaling type stuff, like, oh, we don't give our kids any Christmas gifts because gifts are evil, and it was also like she also seemed like literally like a very nasty person, because she was also like trash talking her coworkers at her job. Like she said, like they're so much materialistic and all focused on stuff, and we're like so much more in tune with nature and Mother Earth, bruh. And I'm like, not having it, crazy lady. Dakan gets a lot of vitamin D, if you know what I mean. Oof, burns, sick burns, sick burns, sick burns. Damn, Zenton69, shots fired. How will Dakan ever recover? How ever will he recover from these sick burns? Chat is on fire with sick burns tonight. Has she talked about DMT yet? No, she was not talking about DMT. Fortunately, we could have. I'm sure we could have had a good DMT talk experience if she were more into drugs. Like saw the spirit dimension, man. The spirits, man, they were talking to me. Like, are you absolutely convinced that those were not demons? Home invasion, definitely. All jokes aside, could you buff the bush berries and veggies? 0.01 FEP with 2-3% hunger per berry / veg is a bit harsh. Could consider. Wouldn't that make them too good in the early game? Asked as a genuine question. Yeah, the bushes and the berries have always been horribly useless. I know. Foraging? Question mark? To be fair, with more seasonality to them, I think, bigger harvests and Zented69 says nobody eats berries early game if they know what they're doing anyway. Okay, that sounds just not as it should be, because if berries aren't useful even early game, then they're not useful, period, and that sounds like a waste of content. So we should definitely look at that then. Is it still really punishing to eat the wrong things in the early game? Let me tell you, son. By all means, strange traveler, do tell. Do tell. Yeah, we try to jump straight to fish. Lol, don't even get us started on wasted content. Why wouldn't I get you started, Ardas? Please get started. Like, tell me. Too much hunger kills your hunger in the early. So okay, so real talk then. Would the game be better if we just removed satiations and hunger? Would that make the game better? Straight up question. Throwing it out there. Holy Cow says yes. Okay, so you can eat literally as much as you want, no restrictions whatsoever. You think that would make the game better? Yes, says Colsey. Unanimous vote for yes thus far. So is there no case to be made that just incentivizes too much autistic grinding? Like, what kind of a bot farm are you going to set up if you get that the ability? Like, or maybe the present system doesn't discourage your bot farms at all. Maybe it's just not relevant. Your food changes didn't hurt Titans at all. Who the F cares? Autists are going to autist anyway. It's hurt little Johnny trying to get on strength to go mining. I'm also someone in favor of stat caps with like 1k base stat cap with 1 plus 1k. How would it take you 2 seconds to get to 1k stats if there were no limits to eating? Would it even take you 2 seconds? Completely unrestricted grind would be a bigger problem in the long run, yes. But in the long run, we're all dead, so it's fine. Or what's your argument there? Future Jorb can fix those problems. Present Jorb can't fix any problems. Everything is cancer. Nothing works. Terek-sama says exploding quality is reason for hungers and satiations being bad this world. Okay, so if qualities were lower, it would be better. Let's see. I don't see how you figure that works out. Please enlighten me on Terek-sama's comments chat. If it was removed now, I'd be well past 2k with just the food we have that no one wants to eat now. Exactly. In the long run, with no form of stat caps on the current combat system, you still have World 10. You could put in the effort to catch up. You saw the results of your work because you could eat unlimited amounts. Okay, let's say we did make it so that you could eat anything, but let's also play with other ideas. Like let's say that the returns were significantly more diminishing. Would that be good? Would that or let's say that there was effectively a catch-up mechanic, because like one idea that we've toyed with is, okay, let's say that the first person who breaks new ground in terms of leveling a certain value beyond a certain point would have to pay a premium to actually break the wall. So let's say that you're the first one trying to get above 100 in a particular value. You would then have to grind up 200 peps in order to do that. Would that change the equation for the better? Would that be fun? That's effectively a catch-up mechanic, because if you're going to be server lead, you have to kind of put in more effort than everyone else. So kind of putting a limit somewhere on some of the shenanigans, perhaps. Not sure how that would play out. Maybe it wouldn't matter. Maybe just one dominating faction would be. Because I don't know, more diminishing returns on stats against players. Yeah. I mean, stats matter too much in combat. I think that's uncontroversial, an uncontroversial claim. Because if it's just a case that it's just a stat check whether you win or lose combat, and I have no reason to think that that is not the case, then how about you post suggestions like that in CNI and see what people have to say? That's not a bad idea. I could do that, but I would also like to take the opportunity to interact with chat and ask chat, because chat is on hold. So I take the opportunity to ask chat. Dun, dun. So what is Dorka Muffin actually building here? He's building boxes. He's building boxes. Okay, so we got to get more hides to make leather, and can we build the good old darn claim now? Can we build it? Do we have enough bone? You know what I mean? Yes, inspect the hearth fires. Let's see how long this place has been abandoned. Not a bad idea, sir. 24 weeks ago, 25 weeks ago, 17 weeks ago, 17 weeks ago. So that's like 3 months. No, that's more. It's 4 months. Remove satiation's hunger and add a global time gate as a catch-up. Yeah, it's similar-ish, perhaps. Ask him, who is he? Dear player, chat asks, who are you? Please tell them who you are. Who are you, chat or player man, if you're watching the stream? Because you must be watching the stream, or otherwise you wouldn't know. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Oof, isn't even building that Beerclaim token on level. Damn straight. I'm gonna build it right here in the hill. I got a house in the hill with a door that spins. Da 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 da. Ain't gonna be no level ground, sir. We just ain't gonna do it that way. That's not how we roll. Sieged. Instant siege. Just kidding, can't siege. Diminishing returns is one thing, but access to amazing food early is big too. People can probably get 1k very soon if all satiations were removed for sure, but what if it took actual effort to be able to make excellent food? Okay, good case there perhaps. What are the like some of the worst offenders there? What if the entire cooking system was tiered and cooking recipes had to be earned or learned in some kind of difficult way? Well, maybe that's a good argument. Maybe you advance through the cooking tech tree too fast. Make a note of that. Cooking tech tree too shallow. Just add stat caps that increase with the length of the world in combination with your idea to increase the cost of gaining points above the cap, which allows autists to autist, but everyone else to still stay relevant at the same time. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Alright, so there was some consensus around an idea like that. Maybe I like that. Because one of the things that I kind of find punishing about satiations that I don't like is that... What was I thinking about? I don't recall. I was thinking about the... I don't like how they time gauge you, really. So I suppose I'm against them, but... I don't know, it's kind of a tricky question for me. Boom! The claim only becomes active in one in-game day. Okay, we'll leave it. Let it sit then. If you know, I'm not going to give you any ideas, but if it bothers you, you know where it is. Someone please level. Alright, our bra here bringing us some of the good stuff. Let's fast forward to server day. I could. It's actually one of my nightmares that sometimes, because when we test things on the dev server, we just instant speed the world a couple of times. Just fast forward it a couple of times. And one of my nightmares is accidentally doing that on the real server. Satiation suck ass. You make some food, eat one piece, and you can't eat anymore without missing out on stuff. Yeah, I can agree. I guess I agree with that. Scented 69 says, I think it stands to reason that actual food making could be slowed down to some degree too. Like, only the most perfectly cooked autumn steak should give you the best feps, right? How many steaks do you need to cook before you are perfect at it? Even if you're a master chef, you can still make mistakes, right? Sure. So how would that mechanic play out? How would you judge that? Or Dakan says, when you fast forward to the world during the end of World 10, that was visually amazing. Just an observation. Yeah, I could see that being the case, like someone who's not as used to seeing it as I am. Someone not less jaded than myself. I could see that being kind of cool. So maybe we could add it as an effect for some particular purposes. Colsey says, can you let us damage animals using catapults? If I spend the time and resources on a catapult, I should be able to use it. The alternative is alt spam and brute forcing. Just cap the animal by the shooter's survival. Medic. Why is it important? Why is it important that you be able to damage animals using catapults? Well, also most people have all those effects turned off. That's a shame. Is that only because they slow the game down, or because they visually impair you in some other way, or why is that? Why do you turn off all the effects? Do people do that in other games? Like if you're playing, I don't know, Battlefield or whatever, are you like making all the buildings see through and blah blah blah? Is that just, you know, people don't seem to be doing that. Speaking of that survival band-aid, effing remove it. It made sense the first 2 weeks of the world. What survival band-aid would we be talking about that? Holy Cow says, because those games have an anti-cheat system. Really? Capping survival to the lowest value of anyone who does damage. Why is that so bad? Really? Anti-cheat system. Is that what you're arguing for? Because I don't believe, I do not believe the claim that they have a working anti-cheat system. At least not without significant proof. I mean, how would you do that? How I tell you would you do that? What was Al's good idea? Algus aesthetics. Okay. There we go. So what was aesthetics' great idea then? I want to know what the good idea was, damn it. Brr. Brr. Can experiment with food that only raises your stats so high before you need to swap to a higher tier. With all this eventually ending into a high-end meal recipe made up of all the annoying farming foods we love to avoid. Tier up food. Maybe that could be the answer. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. So basically, you're suggesting enforcing variance through other means, basically. But I believe one of the longer term problems with H&H right now is how we have pretty much just merged ourselves into two factions. You don't get much dynamic or political power or play when it's just two of us. Yeah, I could see it. So what would break you up into more factions? Smaller factions being more viable? And I saw the argument there made, I think it was Snuggle Snail who made it on the forums, that the quality race is one of the big reasons why people are merged into big factions like that, because it's hard to stay relevant in the quality race. Would that be a good analysis? Is that true? Why are you merged into two big factions? What could break you up? Ardennes TV gets his message blocked here for Snuggle getting name dropped. So I don't know. I don't mind using that word, unless that's like an instant Twitch ban for using the word fgit. Can't you call a spade anymore? But anywho, was the analysis good? Is the question. Snail is a spade. A snail is a snail. A spade is a spade. Things are what they are. Modus ponens is a thing. Things in the world have identity. What is this madness? Are things not just an arbitrary, atomized chaos of shifting forms and the spirits, man? I've smoked so much DMT, man. I swear, I drank so much ayahuasca. It was like with the shaman. Brazil, man, it was so deep. Maybe make it so there's some additional benefit for being the owner. Colsey, be right back calling the police. So what do you think your police is going to do here? What power do you think the Royal Canadian Mounted Escadrille really has in beautiful sunny Sweden? None, Cole. Who's going to send the Royal Mounted Canadian Police on you? SMH, buddy. Shaking my head. Shaking my... Yeah, you have no power here, definitely. I'm not going to open that random JPEG reference, or is that just... it's just you writing there, that, and the chat interpreting that as a link. Smart. So maybe make it so that there's some additional benefit for being the owner of a realm, like some bonuses that you don't share, and make auth drain more based on how many people you have oathed. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Auth drain increase with the number of oathed people. They will shake their heads at you and give you a stern and disagreeable look the next time you visit Canada. Yeah, that's about the same punishment that the Swedish police would dole out for me raping someone, so... Oof, shots fired at the Swedish police. I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy. Whoa, no, oh, I shot the sheriff. How embarrassing was that? Yeah. Some arguments about stone qualities in the chat. Terribly politically correct comments in the chat here. So yeah, I don't know. In conclusion, where do we go with that argument? Try food differentiation by other means was an argument, I think, that stuck with me. And make the pickaxe a weapon, make credos more differentiated, make the credo tree broader, and enforce actual choice in it. Autarky, that was a good idea. Tier up food. Tree choice. And also, what else? More diminishing returns. Diminishing returns. Returns on food gain. No, literally the Newman system only for credos. I'm not so sold on that one. Cool. Decrease hunger for raw fruits. Yeah, I think we made a note of that. Both bushes, berries. Decrease hunger. Differentiate claims. Yeah, that's a good point, but I'll make a note of it. But it's a lot bigger thing, kind of. Please don't make winter unplayable garbage. Yeah, I hope we can avoid that. Hopefully, you should add some like unique herbs and stuff that only spawn in winter, and also make it bearably short. Credos should be a huge ass project, like 100 credos and enough choices and pathing to make it so you just having a few alts cannot let you get all the benefits. That is not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. And it would also be kind of interesting to add more credos. Like that. So 10 alts then, yeah. Wolf taming plus sledges for the winter, please. Yeah, that's a good calls. Wolf taming, so wolf taming can only be done in winter, or what would be the argument there actually? Study all that crap. Like yank. Get some more veggies going. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Alright, let's do some fishing. We can. Let's try to find some resources to do some fishing. Fishing. Fish on. New Credo's dungeons. Yeah, we talked a little bit about more dungeons. Problem with dungeons is that it's just a lot of content. Basically, it just puts a lot of pretty hefty demand on new content in terms of we need new tile sets, new props, new gates, new chests, new like 6 new animals, everything. And I'm not super keen on adding too many new animals while we're still as unsure as we are about the combat system. Because one of the things that takes a really long ass time every time we do a combat redesign is going over all the darn animals and trying to make them all relevant and interesting. So Midge dungeon, please. Just a huge maze with thousands of midges. If you pass it, midges won't bother you anymore. Imagine having to get through like 20 credos. So there's farmers that actually have different specialization and end up being like a master of potted farming and can only plant some specific unique thing, or the master of sheep herding or grain farming. That would be effing cool. Steal ideas from Sim 3 dungeons. Yeah, I'll maybe that's an argument for firing up the old Sim 3. So why not Sim 4? Is Sim 4 not as developed yet? It's actually kind of a strange thing when you go from an older iteration of a game to supposedly to a newer, but you actually lose a lot of content because the newer version hasn't gotten all the silly DLC material yet. Sims 4 is even numbered. Yeah. Rabbit Dungeon, the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. Don't play the even numbered one. And maybe that's true. Wasn't Sims 2 good? Yeah, I seem to remember Sims 2 being decent. They are a blur to me though. Can't really. I shall not swear up and down on it either way. But yeah, the idea of tiered foods was a good one. Zentit, I think, was the originator of that one, or the one who presented it. I like that one. I actually, damn. See if I can dig that up. See if I can dig it up. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. Here we go. Maybe. 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 Maybe here. Then again, maybe not. Let's do some nostalgia. Nostalgia looking through old files here. But anyways, Sims 3 World Adventure had pretty interesting dungeons in a flower menu system game. Lots of good ideas to yoink. I'll have a look at that. Giant puffballs possible to grow in pots. It's about getting distance between each iteration. Going from Sims 1 to Sims 3 was amazing. I could see that being the case. I could definitely see that being the case. Here we go. Speaking of meals, here's an old idea, or some old, very old, ugly graphics that I made for when I was even less competent at drawing than I am now, for a meal. This was the last meal. So it was imagined as a combinatorial thing where you would have to combine several food items to create a meal. So it's not like I've never had that idea. Here was like a boar's head with an apple in the mouth. Good stuff. Good stuff. All around. Why did I stop fishing? Sent it 69. You can read what he says. Alright, so we got. Time flies past when I do this as usual. Tonight was really fun. We have 5 minutes left of or 4 minutes rather, the allotted turn. Tracking on. Did someone goof me? Damn, son. Was I attacked? Oh, alright. So I was attacked. That's why. I get it. So if you got any final questions, please let me know in the chat, and we'll talk them over. Otherwise, I'm gonna get ready to wind down the chat, or wind down the stream rather. Again, this was really fun. As I said last time, maybe I should do this more often. Someone asked earlier, shouldn't I do this more often? Maybe I should. Maybe I should stream more often. It's fun every time. So there's definitely that. Seasons causing localized resources to die and respawn in different locations. That's I'm not at all opposed to that. I could see that being a thing. It's like I think I've made this argument before that like one of the thing that we really wanted to accomplish with the localized resources was to create more permanent spots of conflict that you could contest. Why are mining issues irrelevant to you? They are not. So I don't want every localized resource to just respawn somewhere else, because I don't think that would be true to the original vision for the game. To be honest, more good content brainstorming comes out of these sessions than 1 month forum posts. I do tend to kind of agree with that. Like, not to diss the forum posts on which I am permanently retarded in the sense of left behind. But yeah, I agree that the fast fire latency. There's certainly something to be said for the fast fire format. Okay, so this is a situation where I can't get out, literally stuck. Damn, son. Yeah, it's not every resource, but things like lily pads. I would not at all be opposed to certain resources respawning. At least. Later, Yorbo, says my friend here. We're gonna memorize him and ask him to be our friend. Keisha accepted your invitation. And we do the dab. And we do the step dance. Maybe icicles melting in summer. That's a very reasonable idea, actually. It is. Well, anywho, maybe I should stream more often. This is fun. Yeah, I'll give that some thought. But in any event, this was a lot of fun. Thank you all for playing, for caring, for being here, for watching the stream, for talking with me, for giving relevant feedback, and for being good and great people, all of you. As always, remember that Christ is risen, and truly He wishes for you to repent your sins and turn your heart to Jesus, and things would be better for you if you did. So please consider that, and the Lord loves you. and I love you. And repent from your sins. That kind. Repent, as we all should. And so, thank you so much for everything for tonight. Blah 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 blah. I love you, and this has been a lot of fun. And I look forward to the August stream. And yeah, maybe we'll even do more streams. I'll have to give that some serious thought, because there's always a feeling of dread that starts sneaking up on me towards the end of the month, and I know that I have to do a stream. It's always fun when I actually do it. But anywho, love you all so much. Thank you all for tonight, and let me see if I can find the off button here. There's light at the end of every dark tunnel in your life, so if you're down for whatever reason, then pick yourself up. It's going to be great eventually, I promise. Play Haven, it's fun. Eh? Alright, I look forward to the next outrage. Later, man. That sounds like a great note to end it on. Take care, everyone. Sleep tight when you do, and I'll catch you sooner rather than later. Stay safe in and out of game. Adios, amigos.